During the past few months, I've been importing tea techniques from all around the world and using them in my own local context. Today, I'm exploring what happens when you try to make local matcha. Matcha is this finely ground powder made from young tea leaves, which are grown in the shade to keep them tender, bright, and rich in nutrients. But here's the thing, tea isn't native to Europe, so I'm gonna have to use another plant. A plant that is already widely used for tea and known for its many health benefits. I think the best first candidate would be nettle leaves, but of course you can experiment with other leaves. To stay true to the matcha technique, I needed young leaves from a shady spot. Younger leaves are softer and easier to grind, and shade-grown leaves are greener, milder, and more nutrient-rich. Because we're working with wild plants, I give the nettles a good wash. Then comes the critical step. Oxidation changes the color, aroma, and flavor of leaves. It is what makes an apple turn brown. And it's actually used to make black tea. But with matcha, we want to keep its fresh color and flavor. So we want to prevent oxidation. There's many ways to do that. In Japan, they steam the leaves in a steamer. But since I don't really have a good setup for steaming, I decided to blanch the leaves for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then shocking them in cold water to stop the cooking. This keeps the aroma fresh and stable and preserves that nice green color. Now comes the tricky part, making that ultra fine powder. Japanese matcha masters use a special stone mill, which I don't have. So I decided to first use a simple spice grind. But of course the results were too coarse. How do we make it even finer? I went old school. This mortar kind of mimics what the expensive Japanese rolling device is like. But there is a problem though. It currently smells like every curry I've ever made. So I first cleaned it with baking soda and vinegar. And after a quick wash and dry, grounding raw rice removes all the bad odors left. Now that it's clean, let's turn our matcha into a fine powder. After some serious elbow grease and a fine mesh strainer, we finally have local matcha. Of course, it's not as thin as real matcha, but is it thin enough? Let's prepare it. So yes, it was thin enough. I was scared it would end up like powder in hot water, but it turned into a nice cohesive drink, and I was happy to see that there wasn't any residue left at the end. I think blanching the leaves removed some of the harshness of nettles, which now makes it taste really good. Now, of course, nettle matcha isn't real matcha. It won't give you the same caffeine kick or focus boost, but it's a nutrient powerhouse, perfect for muscular recovery and overall vitality. I actually like to think of this new product as a kind of post-workout ritual. Of course, you could try this with other plants too. I used matcha, but there is many more plants that could work. And if you do try something, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what you guys came up with. Next time, I'm attempting to import oolong tea techniques into Europe. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Until next time, stay rooted.